Welcome you now to another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast where we talk about Latino everything. Thank you very much for being here on another amazing episode. Remember to subscribe. Why? Because you're helping us spread these amazing, beautiful stories, such as this particular individual. A very honored, very privileged. I know she hears it all the time, but you gotta understand when you're growing in the '90s and some of your high school peers are kind of claiming a click of this, click of that because of getting your hair dyed and everything because of a particular crew, and then hearing the songs and hearing them on your car and every party you go to, that's the songs are playing. Man, that's a privilege. We have today a legend in her own rights, half Mexican, half Italiana, from the legendary Salty Water Records and Dope House Records. Powder in the house. Hola, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. It is a truly a pleasure. I know you hear all the time. I know people say a lot to you as far as like how much they admire you, how much you influence them, how much you impact them, even as guys, like how you kind of inspire them, which is
Oh,
crazy,
stop.
but still, it is cool that
Yeah.
to have somebody that, all them songs, man. Anyways, I'm gonna start. What's that called? What's that word? I'm gonna start being star stroking, and I'm gonna get to the interview. We're gonna start with a segment that I like to call Preguntas Al Chile. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
They're tough.
Okay.
Tacos o tortas.
Tacos,
Corn tortilla or flour tortilla.
flour,
Gorditas o sopes.
gorditas,
Gorditas o pupusas.
pupusas,
Yeah. Woohoo. Mexican coca o jarritos.
Mexican coca,
Okay. Salsa verde, salsa roja. Do you like spice? Do you
verde.
care? Verde all day. Team salsa verde, baby. We got that in
Yes.
common. What? Spaghetti a la carbonara or lasagna.
Lasagna.
Yeah. That's the Italian question, by the way. Menudo or pozole.
Menudo.
Valentina, tapatio, Cholula hot sauce.
I don't like hot sauce
At all?
at all.
None of them.
None of them.
Cool. Okay. So, cumbia dancing, salsa dancing.
Cumbia.
Cumbias?
Yes.
Okay. A conspiracy theory that you heard one time, that when you heard, you were like, that has to be true. No way, that's not true. What would that
It
be?
has to be true.
Yeah, like you like that's got to be a real deal.
Oh, that's a hard one. That is a hard question because most of them I'm like, um,
The one that you think is the closest that you've gotten to maybe being a real deal. What could that be?
uh, that the government was hiding the fact that we had aliens and they had already discovered them, and now we found out that it was true.
Yeah. They be lying to us. But sometimes us as people, we're not
Yeah.
ready for the truth. We say we are,
I know that there's other beings out there. I
right?
just know it.
Right?
There's no
Absolutely.
way it could just be us.
Yeah. When you hear the word Latino, Latina, what's the very first thing that comes to mind?
Pride.
Pride? Awesome. Okay, so let's get to your interview. Again, I think a lot of people know who you are. I think a
I
lot of
hope.
people know how you started your career. But I have just a few more questions about that.
Okay.
So you're Mexican and Italian.
Yes.
So your dad is Mexican.
Yes.
Was he born in Houston in the area, or he came over from Mexico?
No, he was born in Texas. He was born in Brownwood. It's like in kind of West Texas area.
Yeah. Was
Yeah.
his whole family like been here forever, when this used to be Mexico that you know of, or did they actually came from somewhere in Mexico?
As far as I know, because I don't, we don't know too much that go. We don't know,
Got you.
how far back it goes. But even his dad was born in Texas.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably Mexico.
Yeah.
It's always been like Mexico.
Yeah.
What about your mom's Italian? You said right, but you're
Yeah.
not too much into the culture as far as
No,
her.
not really.
Really?
No.
Do you know what area, what part you were from? Her family from Italy?
I don't.
Really?
I don't. And a lot of the history of her family is unknown. Her mother was killed when she was a baby. So
Very
yeah.
sorry for her.
There's a lot of things that we don't know about
Gotcha.
all of her. What is going on
That's cool.
there as far as DNA and everything.
Yeah,
There's a lot
yeah.
we don't know.
That's cool. Have you ever tried to do an ancestry to see what region in Italy you?
Yes, well, and I have it, so I'll have to look it up. But
Oh.
yeah, it winded up being a lot smaller than I thought it would be.
Really?
Yeah, and then I had like some Creole in there that I was surprised to
What?
see. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's start with your career. As I remember, you used to be a dancer. You like dancing more
Yes.
than rapping. Rapping wasn't even a thing that you wanted to consider. You used to even back then, dancer, back dancer? How do you, what is the word?
Background, like a
Background
yeah,
dancer
background dancer.
for
Yeah.
Johnny Z and all that.
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you get into the dancing part? Who influenced you in that area?
I just always liked to dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I started hanging around musicians and everybody, they were like, "Well, we need a dancer for this video, or we need a model for this video," and I kind of just slipped right in there, and I
Yeah.
was like, "I can do it."
Were you doing it in school or anything like that? Any training at
No,
all whatsoever?
no,
You just naturally know how to dance.
yeah,
That's dope. Maybe that's tied to your previous ancestors too.
maybe.
Maybe some belly dancers or something like that.
Right.
Okay. So and then after that, how did the artists start finding you that they need somebody? Did you just know people that are kind of famous already off the bat or what?
Well, not really, but when a friend of a friend had introduced me to the guys from Salty Water in Galveston,
Mm.
so I met them and they introduced me to SPM at a show that they were doing together, and then it just kind of like snowballed from there. I started hanging around all of them, and you just start meeting everybody.
That's cool. So what is the first? So I remember you used to be in a relationship with Pancho B. Did that come
Yeah.
first before you became actually a member of the
No,
record?
no,
So that was after.
yeah.
So they brought you in. Did they had the conversation? How did the conversation go with Pancho B as far as you being in a song?
Man, it was a lot of conversations.
Please.
It took a lot of time. Like I met him and we were in the studio and I was playing on the piano and we were singing a little bit and vibing and he got my number, but he didn't come at me like that at all. He just was interested in my mindset. I could tell.
Mm.
He would call me and just talk to me for hours and just trying to figure me out, trying to feel me out, trying to see like where my head was.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, we talked on the phone a lot. We hung out a lot before it was finally kind of like, look, you want to come, do that. You want to be a part of it.
Yeah. And then, what made you want to agree to it? I mean, I know there was no interest of you, no dreaming of you being a rapper, an artist, anything like that. What he say that made you want to? Okay, let me give it a shot.
Honestly, I just liked everybody. I liked everybody. It felt right. It felt like I fit in. It felt like family. And I like doing it. I like to. I've always sang since I was real little. So singing came to me naturally. So it just seemed like a good fit.
That's awesome. Tell me how did it feel to be in the studio, recording yourself and hearing you for the first time?
Amazing.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. Yeah. There's nothing like it.
Nothing like it ever.
No.
What is your process for making songs, if you don't mind me asking? A lot of people like to hear the beats.
Yeah.
I think you're more of a beat picker and then go into it and write to it. I don't know if you like to write. I don't know if you just like to go off the dome and maybe just what's it called, tap in. How do you like to do it?
I'm definitely a writer, but I like to vibe. I like to get in the studio with like-minded people, listen to beats, and just vibe and come up with ideas for the song. Like, what's the song going to be about? Vibe to that. Once we figure out what the song's going to be about, then I just need like some focused time to write. I always have to smoke. That's just part of my process.
Yeah, of course.
It helps the creative juices flow. So I smoke something and write.
Yeah. So the very first song, remind me again, what was the very first song you recorded with Salty Water?
Very first song was a song called Muévele with Chuck Stilley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Muévele.
And it did come out. Everything, it was released and everything.
Yeah.
How did the crowd react? How did you feel like? Because I remember interviews that were doing way back in the days where people were talking about you, like, so Powder, this and that, and you were like super swagged out, all that. Already knew how to. You look like you were already trained for
Yeah.
like media training and everything. So you
Yeah.
was chilling the seat, talking about, yeah, I got a record coming out. But how did it feel to be known, like recognized that you were like made songs and you're kind of like an artist now?
It's always been crazy to me. And a lot of people tell me they're like, man, you're just a natural when it comes to like being behind the camera or being in front of a camera or doing an interview or doing a show. It always just all came very natural.
Okay.
I don't know where it came from. It's just in me.
Yeah. Do you think any of your family influenced growing up something like that kind of environment or whatsoever? Or not really.
Well, my mom put me in piano lessons.
Yeah.
And my sister was very into theater, and I was always into theater too. I really deep down want to be an actress. That's like my end goal. But yeah, I think that had a big influence on me musically. I always had music in my life, always.
And then we have the novelas always playing. You know? We're always doing that part. We always got them playing, you know.
Yeah.
So, okay, piano.
Hmm.
Because I remember hearing that a few times on interviews. You actually know how to get down on the piano.
Yeah. I
What?
can like really play.
Why did you mind want to put you a piano? Did you thought it was gonna be something to
She
help you?
she used to play a little bit. We had a piano
Ah,
in our house.
wow.
And yeah, I mean, she kept us really busy. She would put us in everything. Like we were in dance, and my brothers were in soccer and softball, and everything. We just always were doing something.
Extracurricular activity. You're
Yes,
always on point on.
yes, and you know, each sibling kind of just dropped off, but I stuck with it.
Yeah.
I stuck with it because I liked it.
All right. So fast forward. You get with Salty Water. What is the biggest record? Will be Nasty Girl.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And how big do you feel like it got? And how huge was it? And what was the biggest crowd that you ever got to perform? And you kind of sort of got the feeling like, damn, I'm a rock star today.
Definitely the Joel Carmona car show that he had one year. They said, and I don't know if this is true, but they said it was like 30,000 people. I don't know if that's true because I don't know if that place can hold that, but it was packed. The
Yeah.
arena was packed. But yeah, that was probably the biggest show. And then I didn't realize how big it had gotten until years later when people would come and be like, "Man, you're a Powda. Like my friends in Colorado are like your biggest fans, or my friends in my cousins in Arizona know you. They can't
Yeah.
believe I know you,
Yeah.
and my people in Cali know you." And then I did features with a girl in New York. Like I didn't realize that it had hit everywhere. I got features from Florida, from that, New York, Cali,
Yeah.
like it hit everywhere, and I just didn't know it for a long time.
Yeah. Well, y'all hitting out of state because I know the run was maybe like about a year or so or something like that, maybe 2 years.
About two, yeah,
About 2 years.
yeah.
And did y'all ever get to go out of state to do some shows or just stay mostly here in Texas? 'Cause you could
No.
really tour here in Texas
Oh
and stay
man,
busy.
yeah, and we did every city in
Every-
Texas. I feel like, but yeah, we never got out of state.
Yeah.
We were probably headed on our way there, but we never got there.
Yeah. It just shortly fell off. Okay.
Yeah.
So, as you shared before, you got in a relationship with Pancho V. Things started not working out. It started getting a little, I would say, abusive. I
Yeah,
remember the word you said.
yeah,
So after that, you exit out.
yeah,
Uh, at that time, whenever you already met Carlos, SPM,
yeah.
and then you started talking again, what was the conversation like with him to try to bring you in?
Well, I mean, yeah, we were still very close. We saw each other and talked all the time. And when it was over, and I was done with them, because I tried to go back, even though I had left. I did try to go back, and they, pretty much it was like he was like, no, this is not, we're not doing anything. So once I realized that it was really over, I talked to Carlos and just told him about it, and that I was just letting him know, like, hey, it's over. I'm not with Salty Water anymore, and it was just instinct to him. He was like, well, come over here.
So were you trying to go back just to do the business, just to be the artist and be part of the label, or?
Yeah, because we had a single coming out, "Take It Off," which was on Lone Star Riders, and it
Mhm.
was big. Like we knew it was going to be huge on the radio, and I just wanted to go back and be part of it because I was hearing like they were trying to take me off of it, and I'm like, man, you can't do that. Like let's see this through,
Yeah.
And no, he didn't want to. So
You didn't want to.
no, I think they took me off of one version of the song
Yeah.
and tried to put other people on there.
So let me ask you this: why did you want to be part? You weren't getting compensated at that time, right? I mean, I'm
No.
pretty sure. I don't know exactly how the payment worked, if
I didn't get
anything,
nothing.
at all.
Nothing at all.
Not
Like,
even your daily expenses at all, because
No.
y'all were in a relationship, right? So you figure he should have taken care of you some way.
no,
At all?
no.
Wow.
But I, when I finally started to get Powda shows, I would get paid for that, but he would still take a chunk of it. But I would
Mhm.
still get like it, but it had to be somebody calling and saying, "I want to book Powda," which, of course, I mean, come on, who's gonna say that? We've got all these songs together, so it's always lifestyle shows.
It's always like that.
Yeah, but a couple times I did get Powda shows, so I would get paid for those.
Mhm.
You know, I'd get
Well,
a portion anyway.
You get paid well at that time?
I
For
mean, it
that
was
time being?
okay.
Shoot, hey. Well, need some money.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing what you love, right?
Yeah.
So when did you realize that it was something that you really love? When was it that you actually realized, man, I really love this? Like, even though I never done it before, maybe I know I danced maybe at the house, play some
Yeah.
piano, but like, where's the like?
I think
Man,
the
I
first
love
time I
this.
heard one of my songs,
Yeah.
like, yeah, the first time I was able to like jam it in the radio. I mean, like jam it, in my car on the radio, like just be able to listen to myself. That's
Yeah.
when I really knew. I was like, okay, this is it.
Does it feel, how some people, artists, sometimes it feels like a little cringy to listen to themselves at all? Not at all for you?
Some things, yes, because not every song is a hit,
Yeah, of course.
So, and I didn't even like "Make It Hot" when I first did it. I didn't like it. I was like, this ain't. And everybody's like, no, this the one. And I'm like, no, but it winded up being huge.
You want to be a huge.
Yeah.
That's dope. Okay, so yeah, I get with Carlos now. Fast forward, and you start literally sign a contract now upfront.
Yep.
Signing bonus.
Yep.
So now you're really doing it. How does it
Yep.
feel to get money? Like finally.
Oh, I was like, man, it was night and day.
Yeah.
How they treated me at Salty Water and how I was treated at Dope House was night and day.
Wow.
Dope House was respectful. They paid me, now I didn't get royalties for anything. They don't, and I think that was part of like a problem. I know a lot of artists were upset, like they don't really do the royalty, like the publishing part and all
Mhm.
that. They usually pay people up front,
Mm.
so you're not getting too much of the back end money.
Gotcha.
But still, just to get money up front to do an album before I had even recorded anything was amazing.
That's dope.
And they were helping, like they got me a car, a phone, were helping me with that money that they gave me up front helped me to live while I was recording the album. So yeah, it was nice to be treated the way you should be.
So part of the signing in is just that, did they give you the car or let you use the car and all that stuff and set you up to make sure you're good to go?
At first it was like you can use this, but then yeah, they gave it to me.
That's
They
dope.
actually gave me more than one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
The money was really coming in really good over
I,
there.
they were. I mean, they were doing the best they had ever done at that point.
Yeah. So what's the difference between recording with Salty Water and their studios and recording with Dope House Records? What was the main difference?
Well, unfortunately, once I did get to start recording at Dope House, SPM was already locked up. So it was very different because I was alone at Dope House. It was just me. Whereas with Salty Water, it was always all of us.
Yeah.
In the studio and vibing together, and writing together. So it was very hard to be on my own.
Yeah, but you still got through quite a bit of so there was really not a lot of great like performances and things you did with SPM and Dope House at that
No,
time.
I didn't get to
Very
do
shortly?
too much with that because yeah, he
Wow.
got locked up shortly after I joined the label.
Okay, so when you get to the point to where like, okay, this is not gonna be it for me. I have to. I know you said you didn't have any kind of education per se. You had dropped out
Yeah.
because I'm gonna be a rock star. Forget y'all.
Yeah.
And of course, any kind of skills, work like
Yeah.
job experience, resume,
Nothing.
things like that.
Yeah.
So when is it that it hits you like, yeah, this is just not gonna work out at this moment?
When they let me out of my contract,
Yeah.
when they said, well, they gave me an option: either you can stay, see how things go, or we'll let you out of the contract and you don't have to worry about anything.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, well, let me out of the contract, I guess. And then I was like, now what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I didn't have. Yeah, that's when I realized.
Was there any talks? Any people getting signed left and right? The Court Baby Bash, Universal, different things. Was anybody, any other labels, anybody else approaching you because they might have heard about you, they seen what you
Yeah,
was doing?
I did have some people approach me after that. Some guys from Def Jam, and a lot of people trying to work with me. But yeah, I just was not interested in being a part of another independent label. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I had enough.
You had enough.
Yeah.
So, what is the first thing you try to do whenever you try to look for a job? What kind of jobs do you think?
Well,
you would
I
look
didn't
for?
like go on a job hunt or
Uh-huh.
anything. I was living with my ex and kind of I guess you could say being taken care of. So I wasn't like really trying to find a job, but I was trying to get out of that relationship. So I knew I was going to have to get something to be able
Yeah.
to get out on my own. So a friend of a friend, it was a homie hookup. A friend of a friend was like, hey, there's this clinic that's looking for a receptionist if you want that. And I was like, I'll take anything. Anything. I don't care.
Yeah. You seem like a people person, so you seem like you
Yeah.
would do a great job at it.
And I did, and I really excelled at just everything. I mean, I took it and I ran with it, and I made a career out of it, and yeah, and I made a living for myself. I was able to start taking care of myself. It was
Yeah.
great.
And then you get this little itch, I think it's maybe 2008, maybe to try to make an effort to come back.
Yeah, and I did a mixtape.
You did a mixtape.
Yeah, because I had gotten my own studio in my apartment. I had a 2-bedroom apartment, and I would have my room and then the studio room.
So you know how to record yourself
Yeah,
and everything?
yeah.
Learn
I had Pro Tools. I recorded myself. Everything.
You know how to do that?
Yeah.
How did you learn? YouTube?
My brother.
Yeah?
My brother kind of showed me how to work it because he was making beats at the time. Yeah, so he showed me how to work it.
So was he giving you some of the beats that you were using for some of the mixtape, or where were you getting your beats from
I
at that
actually
time?
did I online.
Yeah.
I was just strictly getting them online. So it was just like I wasn't fucking with nobody. It was just me and what I was doing.
Were you learning about the game at that time? Did you already know that you needed to have like maybe exclusive beats? You needed how to distribute your music. I don't know if at that time you were able to already put it out, maybe CD Baby or whatever the other ones there are, to try to distribute your music.
No, I
No.
still didn't know a lot of that.
Yeah.
Now I knew I needed to sign up for like ASCAP and
Yep.
things like that. I had learned that.
Publishing.
Yeah, but I didn't know, no, none of that. And so when it came out, it didn't do too well because I didn't know how to promote it or anything like that. And I didn't have a team.
What was your role at that time? You just like you just did the project, put it out. Did you get it? You did everything, mix, master, everything, or
No, I got some people, the old producers from Dope House to help me with that.
okay, so you got it all nice and packaged,
Yeah.
but you just don't know really how to roll it out.
Didn't know how to roll it out, didn't know what to do. I just wasn't experienced, but I felt like I think I just needed to get that out.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to get it.
How did it feel to get back and start recording? Did you feel like you missed it? Did you feel like you were home?
Oh yeah, I missed it.
Yeah.
I missed it. And that used to be, I would love like I would go to work, come home, get in my studio and be in there till like 1, 2 a.m. and then
Yeah.
go to sleep and do it all over again. And I loved being alone and doing it.
Did all those tracks that you record? Do you still have them somewhere in some?
I do. They're still
Yeah.
on my old computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that could be something that could put out, or you just?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, they could probably be recycled in some
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
That'll be dope to hear some of the stuff you have. I mean, that means you got a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually have a producer from Dope House that hit me up and said that he's gonna start looking through old hard drives to try to find the stuff I did over there too.
That's what I hear.
Because it never came out.
There was a missing hard drive. Was that because the feds came take it, or you disappeared the
No,
hard drive, or what?
they said that the computer crashed or something.
But all of
and-
a sudden, maybe just.
yeah.
How do you feel about that? It makes you feel kind of strange, right? That it just crashing now is kind of come to life.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cross any controversy. What I'm saying. How
Well,
does it do
the bottom line is either way they would have owned it.
that? Yeah, that's
You
true.
know what I mean? They would have owned it, and I knew that when I left. I was like, well, there's that album.
But if they're out, yeah.
Yeah.
Your voice sounds so different on that Mexican radio remix.
Oh, because I was a baby.
Man, you were so young. You can hear it.
Yeah.
Your voice now is powerful. The delivery, everything is just like wow. Night and
Yeah.
day. Okay, fast forward. Is there any other itch from 2008? Anything? So you put the project out. It doesn't really do well. Does it
Didn't
kind
do
of like?
well. Kind of just stepped back out of it. In 2013, I got back in again, and that's when I actually hooked back up with Pancho V.
Mhm.
To the guy that was I think managing him at the time. His name is Art, and he saw me out and was like, "Man, you need to come back." And he's like, "I'm working with Pancho. You need to come back." And I'm like,
You
"I don't
sounded gel
know."
at that time, right?
Yeah.
2013.
Yeah, he had just been out, I think maybe a year or two. And I was like, all right, I'll think about it, because it had been so long since all that happened. I forgave him.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I'm not about holding on to shit. So I was like, all right, we'll see what's up. Went and met up with him. He had some tracks already in mind that he, I guess, wanted a girl on. And I did them, and they were fire. And I was like, yes, let's do this. We're back. And we put out a song called Bad Bitch Alert with Pancho V and Carolyn
Yeah.
and me.
Rodriguez. Yeah.
That was really good. And me and him did a couple other songs that never came out, but that were really good. But we couldn't agree on how many albums we were going to do together.
So you wanted to do just one.
I wanted
But
one.
they wanted to do longer term than three of
Three.
them, right?
Yeah,
And
he
it's
wanted
just
to do
something for
three.
you. Why did you want to have that longer commitment for three? Because it was fire, right? You recorded some fire stuff.
But for 3 albums,
Mm-hmm.
that would have been years out of my life. Like I just wasn't prepared to, and I'm just now getting back to trusting,
Right.
him as a person.
course.
And that seemed like just too much for me.
Yeah. So y'all couldn't find a compromise.
We could not agree.
Not even 2 years.
Nothing.
Not
Like
even 2
nothing.
albums?
It was 3 or nothing to
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
You
so-
know. And then I had somebody else approach me that offered me one.
Mm.
And so I was like, well, that's what I want. I want just one. I would just want to do one and see how it goes and then move on from there.
So did you go with the other particular label?
The other particular label, just that they fell off. Something happened with them. And yeah. And that's when I was kind of like, okay, everything happens for a reason. I'm not supposed to be back in this business.
Yeah.
And that's when I hung it up again.
Again. And
Nothing
then-
ever worked out when I would get into it.
Okay. Well, fast forward, going. You still living your regular life. You'll be married, have kids.
Yep.
And then now, fast forward, year 2021 is when you get awarded the or 2022.
2022. 2021, SPM hit me up and asked me to do the Day of Unity
Okay,
show.
so you get back performing on 2021 for Day of Unity.
Yes, I
And
did that one show. I had no expectation of getting back into it, even though he was telling me, SPM was like, you need to get back in.
yeah,
You need to get back in. You're going to kill it. Da, da, da. I'm like, I like my life, and I was like, I'll do the show. No problem. I'll do it. And I did the show and still didn't have an itch to really be back.
why did you agree to do the show? Just because he asked you to do it?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'd do
Okay.
anything for him.
Okay. Awesome. And then 22, you get awarded with the Legend Award from
Yes.
I forget their
SLM.
SLM, which
Mhm.
is
Support local music.
support local music from
Yeah.
Houston.
Yeah.
Apparently they're a big deal. I mean, again,
Yeah.
I'm from here. I'm not too familiar with it, but they're a huge deal.
Yeah.
They honor you,
Yes.
and then as you're first of all, they have a conversation with you, like, hey, we have your mind to recognize you, and
Yeah.
you're like, I'm no legend,
Yeah, I didn't see myself like that.
really.
Yeah, I still
Yeah.
didn't. Until I got back in the game just recently, now I have started to see the impact
Yeah.
that I made. I did not see it in any time between now and then.
Yeah. So you get awarded that day. How does that night go that day? Because you get to
Oh,
perform
man.
too.
Yeah, that was beautiful. It was a
Yeah.
beautiful night. I had so many friends there. The performance was bomb. And that's what I think sparked for me to come back because everybody was just like, girl, it's like you never left. Like, what the fuck? You just got up there and killed it. They couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody knew what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. I hadn't performed in years. But it went so well.
Yeah. Then after that, you land on the studio, do a feature. Mr. Neverdat wants you to be on a feature.
Yeah.
Kind of convince you to go to the studio with Manic
Yep. Manic
Beats,
Media.
and
Yeah.
then yeah, just have a whole conversation, like a whole. Sometimes it's just the vibe, the conversation. You get into it, and it just becomes something deeper, right? At
Yes.
that moment in time,
Yes.
and then of course, I don't know if that's the time. Then the moment you decide to go, let me go ahead and just do this, or I don't know when you decided to, but let me go ahead and give it another go.
Well, we talked about it that night about, man, maybe we should, Manic's like, we should do an album. And I was like, maybe. I don't know, and I left it alone. But then a couple of days later, yeah, they hit me up and was like, he really wants to do an album. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, at that time, I was working from home, work from home mom. I felt like I had kind of lost myself in it, and I really needed that something to help me find myself again.
Yeah.
I really needed it.
Yeah. What do you think you were trying to find?
I needed to find who I was.
Yeah.
I had lost myself in motherhood.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you anymore. You're just like this slave to these kids, that are just, they need everything from you. And I was with them all day by myself,
Yeah.
so I had really lost myself.
What have you found so far as being into who you are?
Oh man, everything. I found my spark. I got my spark back, my everything, the fun of my life back. Now my life is, and not to say kids aren't fun. They're fun,
Yeah.
and we have lots of fun.
Very interesting little drunk individuals sometimes running around.
Yeah.
Drunk little people.
Yeah, and
Just
they're
kidding.
fun, but I
course.
had lost a lot of just my spark.
Yeah. All right. So now you work on the album. The Queen is back.
Yeah.
That's the name of the title.
Yeah.
Released already?
No, well, I've been releasing singles from it.
Okay. When is
Yeah.
the hard date that you want to, like, as far as your mind, to roll it out and have it out already?
All I can say is that I want it out by the end of the year. I can't
Okay.
put a date on it because I am making sure that I'm releasing a video with every single. So
It's a lot of work.
yeah, it is a lot of work, but so much goes into it that you cannot predict when that is going to be able to release. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about? I know there's been a few interviews that I talked about it. I think it was the one with my boy David in the house.
Yeah, shout out them damn Mexicans.
TDM. Appreciate you. By the way, I'm sorry I didn't give you your props. Thank you very much for connecting us.
Yes.
Glad, super glad that you're here. I went blank. I don't know why. I think something kicked in. I'm just kidding. How do you feel about? Because I heard on that same conversation, like people are the attention span is so short.
Yeah.
Like right now, just went somewhere else,
Mhm.
and then people are releasing shorter songs.
Yeah.
People are releasing EPs, not
Yeah.
really full blown albums.
Yeah.
Do you want to still do the album part and though and with videos and everything? I don't know how many tracks do you have in mind.
13 tracks.
13 tracks.
Yeah, and the reason I decided to release it the way I am was just because I was just getting back into the game and I was starting from zero because I had no social media. I was not
Yeah.
on social media, nothing. I was like, I need to get my following back. How do I get my following back? If I just put out an album, nobody's going to listen to it. Nobody knows I'm here. So I need to just build up that hype. So I
Mhm.
was like, I'm just going to do singles off the album and let everybody know I'm here. Come back, come listen, come
Yeah.
follow. So that's why I decided to do it like that. Once I think I'm gonna have maybe 3 to 4 songs that haven't been released when I do finally release the whole thing.
Awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like the. So I don't know when the actual remix happened for the One in a Million, the
Oh
EDM version.
yeah.
Was that way before you even started beginning to get dive back in?
I think he did it a long time
Yeah.
ago. Yeah. And when I got back in, he hit me up, he emailed me and was just like, Powder, I did this One in a Million remix a while back and I just wanted to send it to you. And I heard it and I was like, dude, what would you think about releasing that? I love it.
I
It's
like it.
dope.
I like it. It's dope.
And I've always wanted to do something that like different like that. And so yeah, he was like, yeah, I'm all about it. So we did it.
You wanted to experiment with different
Yeah,
sounds.
different sounds.
Do you want to do that on this album? I remember hearing the beats are a little bit throwback, a little
Yeah,
bit. You get nostalgia from some of the sounds that you picked out as far as the beats,
yeah.
and of course your delivery. Why did you feel like you gotten better, or you just got more confident, or you just still have it and never lost it as far as whenever you started recording? Because it sounds like
All of the above.
everything. Of course, you were younger, right?
Yeah,
You were 18 years old, 19 years old, 20
yeah,
even.
yeah.
And then now you just sound. I was telling somebody like, man, her confidence, her delivery, you can tell. It's like I'm telling you, like you look like you somebody that got trained, but you just naturally just good.
Yeah.
So how did you feel? Where does that come from? Just you were you practicing in your shower? Tell me the truth. Were you practicing in the car driving to work, like going through all
No.
these stuff, motions and stuff?
No, no, and that's crazy. And it really shocked me how I got better. It did.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe I can still write easily and come up with hooks easily. And I couldn't believe that my delivery was so strong after all these years of not practicing,
Yeah.
like literally shunning it away from myself. Like, I'm not going to do this. So yeah, it was a surprise to me, and that's why I give it to God. It has to be Him touching me with it, because
Yeah.
where else would it come from?
Yeah. Are you a fan of punching in at all whatsoever? You just have to write something. Have you ever like try to freestyle some stuff in there and see how it goes?
Yeah, I don't like the freestyle thing. I don't want to say the first thing that comes
Mm.
to my mind. You know what I mean? I want to think about it. I
Mm.
want to take my time. I want to rewrite a verse 3 or 4 times if I need to. You know what I mean? To make it perfect.
Yeah.
That's just my personal.
So it's like deep whenever you get into writing. It like sometimes you just don't like the first version and just switch it up a little bit. Sometimes
Yeah,
depending.
yeah, and I don't always just want to go with the first thing I put out.
That's
Now, some people can do that, and hey, kudos to them, and some people can make it sound great
yeah.
when they're doing it. That's just not my style.
All right. So before the end of the year, you still have more videos, and eventually you'll have a date for the whole project to be released.
Yes, it's definitely got to come out before the end of this year because I want to release 2 more singles
Yeah.
and then release it. So it shouldn't take me that long to get these 2 done.
Yeah.
You know.
How you because I realize that a lot of the people that you grew up that we grew up as far as listening to you, but even the younger generation,
Mhm.
the younger artists, Crystal Poppin, Animes, different ones are really embracing you, know who you are or know about you.
Yeah.
Even OT Mexican OT, uh, and even Peso Peso. I think he was some way somehow he has ties to Dope House. I can't remember
Yeah.
which way.
Yeah.
So even them.
He has ties to salty water too. His dad
Really?
used to, yeah, his dad, Peso Peso's dad was like part of our, really, he grew up with all those guys.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so he was around all the time. And when I saw his dad, I didn't realize that they were related at all. And yeah,
Who was it? His dad again?
His name is Mario.
And what was his artist name? He was the artist, right? Or he was just management?
Oh man, I can't remember if he had an artist name.
I just remember it was something like that, right?
Yeah, but I saw him at a Dope House show that we were doing, and he was like, "Yeah, this is my son," and he was a huge deal, and I hadn't been in the game, so I didn't know who he was, but
Yeah.
yeah, he wound up being a big fan.
Yeah. So how does it? Whenever you come out and come back, I know you had videos with Baby Bash, and y'all had like conversations and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
know. How does it feel for you to be able to? I think to me, he is like out of Dope House,
Mhm.
besides SPM, the
Mhm.
biggest thing that ever happened. And I'm talking
Yeah.
about just numbers in general. I'm
Oh
talking about
yeah,
platinum records
absolutely.
left and
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and a lot of mainstream just in general.
Yeah,
Just
he's a
like,
hit maker.
y-
He's just a hit maker.
maybe just I think maybe he just doesn't get the credit or the embrace that he's like one of the dopest artists because he didn't do like the hardcore rapping type of stuff.
Well, you
But
know
there were
what? He
hits,
don't need any of that
none of
because his
that.
shows, the proof is in the pudding. His shows show exactly who he is.
Yeah, yeah. Shows that I done for like hosted for him and stuff sold out.
Yeah.
People know the lyrics. Ladies go
Everything. Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's just freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So how does it feel have those conversations with him whenever you're here now and just you're doing it again, getting back in the game?
Uh, I am. It is the blessing is not lost on me. I know it's a blessing
Yeah.
to be accepted back into this game as I was a huge blessing. And
Yeah.
like I said, that's why I give it to God. I know it was Him that
Does,
put everything in motion.
does it shock you a little bit that the younger folks know you, like younger
Oh yeah,
generation?
when Crystal knew who I was shocked. I was
Yeah.
like, "You look way too young to know who I am." And
Right.
she laughed and she was like, "No, my tias used to listen to you."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay," because
That makes sense.
you shouldn't know me.
Yeah, you should have known by none of these songs that we
Yeah,
talked about.
yeah, but
It's super catchy too, right?
it was so crazy because like when I asked her, I was like, "Man, I really like to do a song with you," and she was like, "It would be an honor."
Yeah.
To hear that from somebody like her that like I could tell she was killing it
Oh
in the
man,
game
she's
and
got
she's still killing it.
yeah.
It was an honor to me. I was like, wow, this is amazing. How amazing and how blessed am I that I get to come back into this game and I get recognition from people like her and Bash and everybody in SPM and all these huge people that have been doing it for so long and they're just like, oh, we're so glad you're back.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's
amazing.
crazy that I'm telling you, we used to be there was a little crew they used to call themselves lifestyle clique. Stuff like
Oh.
stuff of all the stuff that y'all
Yeah.
did. There were influences as high school kids. Even with the
Yeah.
hair, I had my hair dyed, bro. Even back in the
Ah.
days, just trying to mimic and the polo shirts and everything, just trying to be like the songs. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, it's just like every party you went to. Be
I
like,
have people tell me they're like, man, thank you for making my childhood crunk.
For real.
Thank you for making my teenage years crunk.
True story. It
Yeah.
was like that. Okay. After the album's done, I don't know if you're booking shows. How
Yeah.
would one go about booking you for shows? Are you doing everything? Is there a particular management you're working with?
No, I'm doing everything myself right now. I don't.
So come correct. Don't come with no funny business. Right?
Yeah, everybody keeps telling me I need to get a manager. They're like, "Girl, you need a team, you need a manager." But I'm doing everything myself. I'm not that big yet, so I can handle it.
I appreciate I know you keep getting told that you're amazing and you're doing amazing things. You're a legend and everything. But I appreciate being humble enough to know that you still have to build up some stuff because you took quite a bit of a break, right? You know
Yeah,
you're recognized, but you
yeah.
have something to build off of it, right? You have a platform.
And I think that
Hits.
tripped people out when I
Yeah.
came back. That
Yeah.
I was so humble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people would be like, "Damn," kind of shocked. Like, you're really humble. I'm like, why shouldn't I be?
Yeah.
I've been out of this game for 20 years. I'm lucky to be here. I'm lucky to be back in this circle. I'm lucky that these people are letting me back in.
Yeah.
They could have easily been like, "Oh, we ain't trying to hear you. You ain't been around." It could have been the other way.
That's
And
true.
I realized that.
Yeah. So whenever your album's done, are you first of all the booking hit you up
Yes.
directly to you?
You can hit me up. Anybody can hit me up on Instagram. That's usually how people get like feature questions and stuff like that to me. Powder 409.
Powerful or not? Powder 409.
Yeah, POWDA.
Okay. And as far as features, same thing.
Yeah,
For
same
features
thing.
and everything.
Yeah.
Of course, come correct, man. Come correct with the business.
Right. No more free shit.
I'm just saying. There's work that gets done here.
Yeah.
She writes a verse like 2 or 3 times, bro. Come on.
Right.
Or chick, whatever you want. So after the album's done and everything, hoping to build maybe some shows out of that. What else are you seeing to? Are you playing it day by day? Maybe just project by project?
No, I really want to get focused on my podcast. It's
Mm.
called The Powder Room.
The Powder Room.
Yes.
Nothing to do with the drugs. About
No, nothing to do with drugs.
ladies in the powder room. I don't know if you ever heard the phrase, but that's what the ladies go to the powder room. They go to the restroom, get
Yes.
nice cleaned up. None of that other funny business.
Yeah, I really want to focus on it, and
Yeah.
I don't want it to just be like a regular podcast. I really want it to be more like a show.
You want to hit the road for what I heard.
Yes, I want to
Yeah.
go and I want to be out with the people and at venues or at concerts, interviewing artists, just letting people see what our culture's doing, highlighting businesses, but also not just sitting down, and nothing against this. This is great and this works.
She
This
done.
formula
She
works.
done. I'm
No, no,
just
no.
kidding.
Don't get me
No,
wrong.
I
This
love it.
formula works,
Mhm.
obviously. But I just want to do something a little different, I want to have segments to it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I want it to be kind of more like a show. I
The
think it'll help me get into acting.
the creative. I don't doubt that you're
Yeah.
gonna be doing some acting. I
Yeah.
don't doubt because I think you're focused enough to want to do it and you'll be able to. No, I need to. My feelings were not hurt. That we're just sitting here in the room.
Yeah.
But I like the idea.
Yeah.
I like that you're gonna be out on the road to create like a show,
Yeah.
not just like a podcast.
Yeah.
So when are you planning to? I don't know if you already roll out an episode or
We
recorded
started
stuff.
on it already, and I
Okay.
have several episodes, like kind of just waiting
Mhm.
to. I I didn't know how to do it because at first I was overwhelming myself. I was
Mhm.
trying to do the album, the podcast, everything all at once, and it
Yeah,
was
of
a
course.
lot. Because I am still a mom, and still working from home. But um, I kind of have decided I wanted to just do one, then the other. So
Okay.
once the album finally is out, then I'll release podcast, and we'll
Okay.
start doing that because you have to be doing it every week, and it's a lot.
Yeah. So when we first launched a long time ago, we did like a month's worth of recording before we even released an episode.
And that's
So
good to give yourself time
yeah,
to
so
catch up.
catch up and
Yeah.
keep you consistent. So that way, in case something happens with one episode, right now we're playing
Mhm.
catch up. My bad. But for the most part,
Yeah.
you like to have a head, and that's pretty awesome. So kind of sort of guide me through the process. It's not going to be a sitting down, but who are you looking to interview? Who looking to talk? I know you had mentioned before you want to maybe have a conversation with some of the dope house and tell some of the stories.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I've already done, like, I've done interviews with Log, Animes, Crystal Poppin. Of
Mhm.
course, anybody that is on the album is gonna have an
oh,
interview.
nice.
But yeah, like I want to go, like, say that the car show that's here. Go out to the car show. Interview people from the car clubs. Interview artists that are performing. But right there on the scene,
Hmm.
show B-roll of the show and the cars, and just so people get to experience that event.
Ooh, look at that producer mind going. You see that?
Yeah,
Already
like
got the
I
scenes.
I just want to take them through all of it,
Yeah.
instead of it just being like, here's a 30-second clip of what happened today. I want it to be a full show,
Yeah.
30 minutes, hopefully, 30-minute show of events. Or, again, like I said, I want to do sit downs with business owners, tell me about your business, get to go to their business and show them interacting with customers or doing what it is, the service they provide, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
Where did the idea of the podcast come? What did you want to do?
It was just brainstorming in the studio with Manic, because he has all of the equipment to do that. Because Manic does everything. He does
Mhm.
the beats. He's an artist as well. He's a rapper too. He does videos. Everything.
I could probably do a movie.
Yeah. So he was just like, man, that would be dope. That would be dope to do that. And yeah.
And the name, Powder Room. How did it just?
I think just talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just kind of came. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, good luck with it. I love to see the concept is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The way that it's just different being out and about.
Yeah.
We like to be on the street sometimes, but not all the time. We like the controlled environment.
But
that you
don't
could
get me
say.
wrong. That's it has its challenges.
Yeah,
too.
I don't doubt it. It's quite a bit of logistics and different
Yeah.
moving parts that you have to do. But
It's not easy.
yeah, but I'm sure you make it happen.
Yeah.
If you can handle two living kids
Yeah.
and be responsible for their lives,
And
I'm
there's
pretty sure.
there's going to be sit downs.
Yeah.
But we'll do it probably on site. Wherever we're at, the sit down will be there.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good luck. We're looking forward to it.
Thank
Is it gonna
you.
be like a different Instagram? Everything is gonna have its own thing, or is it gonna run through your
It's
page?
going to be on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
I'll start an Instagram for it just to have, just to get hype and everything. But yeah, it'll be on my YouTube
Okay,
channel.
we'll be one of the first followers. Okay, you make sure you send us the links.
Thank you.
Yeah, fire emojis, fireworks, and all that.
Thank you.
The whole thing. Alrighty, so thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time all the way from Houston. Shout out to David TDM
Yeah, shout out to them damn Mexicans.
for the connection and bringing us I'm gonna be transparent right now. This is our first podcast, our first setup, so if it doesn't look as crisp, it's because we're running through some stuff. Not to make excuses, but I'm glad that she's so nice enough to be able to be like, okay, we're cool. So when you were driving over here or anywhere, as far as whenever you were about to get interviewed, is there ever a question you'd be like, man, I wish they asked me about this? Why don't they ever ask me about this? Is there anything that pops to mind?
No, and I hate to say that. I should have something in mind. No,
Mm.
I don't. I try not to think about it because I want it to be organic.
Natural,
Yeah, I want it
organic,
to be real and natural.
not
So
rehearse.
not rehearsed. In the beginning, if anybody mentioned that to me, I'd be like, "Well, can you give me a list of questions?" Like I would think like that, but I had learned after doing some things like you don't want to do that. You
It's
don't
so
want it to
much
be.
robotic like that, right?
Yeah,
Like
you
it's
don't want
just
it to
no.
be scripted,
Yeah,
just let it be natural. So I try not to think about it.
yeah. Until you get to sit down and
Yeah.
start talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're really good in camera,
Thank you.
and I'm not the only one that says it. You're just very natural, the tone and everything. Yeah. So your process of making songs, just before I go, is just still kind of sort of the same right now, as far as just writing, because life is different for you now, right?
Yeah.
You were I interviewed Gangster Boo. I got a chance to interview Gangster Boo before she passed a while
Oh,
years ago.
yeah.
When we were talking, because of the content of the music that she puts out,
Mm.
she was a mom too.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden now, when she was making songs, at times that thought of her kids came, and
Yeah.
she didn't want to be too explicit
Mm.
because of the content she was putting out, because
Yeah.
she had little ones.
Yeah.
Any of those things come to mind whenever you're putting out content at all, or
Oh yeah.
writing a song?
Absolutely. And my kids are not allowed to listen to my music. I don't let them listen to anything. Not yet. They need to grow up some and then maybe they'll be able to listen to it. I'm sure they'll sneak and listen to it when they get, a little bit older or whatever, but I'm trying to keep it from them for right now.
Yeah,
I don't want them to listen to anything that I do and think that it's okay,
yeah,
you know. But yeah, I have definitely toned it down. But still, I feel like music doesn't necessarily have to be about the present.
right.
I could do a song about a moment in time that happened 10 years ago or that may happen in the future. It doesn't have to be that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That real. So I feel like I can put myself in an era that I'm not living in anymore and
mm.
still be able to create something good.
You like to do mostly about real life and real situation, real experiences, or do you like to storytell maybe some fictional stuff, or mix it up a little bit?
Mix it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, because not every, like I said, I just did a song, about like an interaction with a man in a club. I'm
yeah.
married. Obviously, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? But it's still real to me because it's something that happened years ago.
Back in the days,
Yeah.
though, in the club. What's up,
It
homie?
happened years ago and it's still relatable to me. Like I can take myself back there and
Yeah,
and still make good music about something that happened that obviously is not going to happen now, but to me that's still real,
yeah.
you
So
know?
back in the days, whenever you were in the club, single, not wilding out, maybe, but how would a gentleman would approach you
Oh
and
my
be
God.
catch your attention?
Bless his soul if he did approach me. I used to be such a bitch.
Really?
Yes. And I've gotten nicer the older that I've gotten, but when I was young, I was straight bitch. Like if you came up to me, if you weren't coming up to me correct, I would just straight clown you. Like,
What is not correct to you?
um,
What up, little mama? Da, 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 da.
yeah, like yeah, just like looking at me like a snack, trying to just audit, like trying to automatically come and touch on me and stuff like that. Like, mm-mm.
Yeah,
If you came and offered me a drink and were respectable, I would talk to you.
that's cool.
Yeah, but if you try to come up acting crazy, like no. And sometimes just looking at somebody, you can just tell like, mm-mm, you're not the one I need to be talking to. So if anybody would come up like looking crazy and shit, I'd just be like, no. And just, thank God I'm not like that anymore. But
So,
that was the
gentlemen,
young me.
stay off the DM. Ladies, married.
Oh my gosh, yes, please stop. Because I just don't even respond.
You get a lot
Oh, every day.
every day.
Every day something. And
With
it's just
explicit pictures too.
not explicit pictures, no. But like just, and some people just don't stop.
Man,
It's just like, hey, hey, beautiful, hey, beautiful, hey, beautiful. How many times you going to do that and I don't respond and you keep doing it? Like, really?
consistency is key.
Oh my God. I get so tired of it. But yeah,
I'm
like guys
kidding.
asking me, are you married? Yes. Oh, that's too bad. As if,
It's not bad. It's good.
right? It's good. But yeah,
I'm the lucky one, not him. Well, he's the lucky one too.
no, I'm the
Either way.
lucky one for
Hey,
sure.
hey,
My husband's amazing.
I don't doubt it whatsoever. Shout out to Mr. Powda. Whatever his
Shout
name
out
is.
to Mr. Right.
Mr. Right.
Yes.
All right, we're running out of time. Thank you so much again. I can't thank you enough for being here. Man, just driving, just didn't have to, but appreciate the just being here in general. I
Thank
really do
you.
truly appreciate it. Again, I can't mention how many times your songs were like all the time playing, and I can't wait to see the things that you're gonna be putting out with your new swag, with your new way of storytelling, getting even better at what you're doing, and how much people are really embracing you and really supporting you and pushing you to. There's still only a handful of Latina or Mexican artists
Mhm.
that are putting in work they're known for, and we need to change that because we have the numbers, Latinos,
Yeah.
Hispanics. We have a lot more numbers to be able to put people. Of course, you got your Cardi B's and things like that, but you got your Snow the Product's been working forever.
Mhm.
They should be known for more mainstream.
Yeah.
You got your Crystal Poppins and different female artists,
Yeah.
just in general. They're super good. They're amazing, super
Amazing.
talented, right?
Yes.
And I think we should be able to have a bigger presence in hip hop because we're been there for the culture. We're one of the largest consumers
Yep.
of the product, so we should have that right to be able to have some of the top artists because we have super talented individuals like yourself.
We got to get back to where the radio is supporting us.
Yeah,
Or and I know radio kind of obsolete some in some aspects. People would think not everybody listens to it, but that's how I got my start.
yeah,
The radio supported us and played our music.
yeah,
When that stopped, a lot of the advancement of what we were doing stopped.
yeah. Any kind of support. I mean, the radio is still it's still gonna be radio.
Yeah,
There's still some
satellite,
influences. Yeah,
whatever,
absolutely.
but yeah, we need people playing us.
Yeah. And in addition to the podcast and the album, is there any other projects that you're working on at the moment?
No, but if anybody's hiring actresses, holla at me.
Yeah, she wants to act.
I want to act. I want to be in a
She's
movie.
going to act. Believe me, she's gonna act, and I believe that she'll be able to play the part, whatever
Yes.
you need. I can see you as a villain.
Ooh,
Playing the
yes.
bad.
Yes, I'd be a
It's hard to
good
play
villain.
the good character. You always got to be crying. I mean,
No,
all
I'd
your
be a good
feelings.
villain. Yeah.
I can see that. Take you back to the club. Scene next. Any shout outs that you have?
Oh man, shout out to the fans. Shout out to the fans. Thank you so much for the support and for embracing me when I came back. Like, thank you so much, and thank you for all the stories you guys tell me about, how I influenced your life, how I made you want to do music, or whatever the case is. Thank you. Just thank you so much.
What is an important lesson that you learned doing music at your earlier career that you tell your younger self that will help somebody else out? What would that be?
Mm. Um, do your research. Do your research, and get your business straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
And professionalism
yeah,
is very important.
yeah. I mean, otherwise you will never have ownership when you do music, right? Whenever you leave it to somebody else that
Yeah.
can dictate that for you.
Mhm.
Okay. Normally, sometimes during the week, during the day, I wake up and I say something along the lines, so I'm not immortal. I am mortal,
Mhm.
and I will die one day. And that's not to terrify me, to scare me. And it's not my original thought. I heard it from somebody else. But it helps me realize that I'm not here forever.
Mhm.
It helps realize my mortality. Helps me realize to hurry up and do stuff. Right.
Yeah.
With that, I wish you a long, prosperous life.
Thank you.
After everything's said and done, what do you want people to think and feel about your life?
I want them to I just want them to remember that I was a good person. That's what I want. I want people to remember that I was a good person with a good heart, and I'll be happy with that.
Yeah. How do you maintain being a good person? Because that comes with
Just
such
love.
consequences sometimes, right?
It
Of
does.
people want to take advantage of it, right? So,
Absolutely. And I've been taken advantage of my whole life, but
so
I don't care. I'm not going to stop loving. I'm not going to stop being a loving person.
yeah.
I approach everything with love,
Okay. Awesome. Amazing.
even my haters.
Yeah. I don't know.
I still love y'all.
Keep watching. Help us with the views.
I do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Again, when he told me we had a something else scheduled, but he told me you were gonna be, I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely, please,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Yeah.
And because again, to me, I felt like I know that you influence a generation of people, and even the younger ones that know about you,
I'm learning
and
that. Yeah.
just to realize that you were able to do that at that time, and you continue to just. I think you were having a conversation with Jay Bass about just being a regular person and just just regular life, nowhere to be, no nothing,
Yeah.
and that's kind of cool. But somewhere in there, deep, this little flame just doesn't let you stop to be one to do things.
Yeah.
Whether maybe not for the recognition of people, but maybe just to be able to put stuff out and be creative.
Yeah.
Whether we the podcast acting or music, right?
Yeah.
So I think with that, I think that's part of most likely the reason why some people. I heard this one video of a little clip talked about a guy trying to make it and other people kind of pull him back,
Mm.
and he still went through it and was successful. I
Mhm.
think a lot of people feel like that with yourself and different people that maybe they see themselves in you because they don't want to take the steps to be brave enough to do that,
Mm.
and they're going to pull you back. But at the end, whenever you get to make it, they're cheering you on because they're one powerful enough, they one brave enough to take those steps that you're taking.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Thank
And
you.
and with that, without a doubt, Powder, you are a global Latin factor. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember to subscribe right now. Don't be playing. Maybe this camera's working. I don't know which one it is. But anyways, remember to subscribe. And remember, we are just like you. We're people. We are the spice in the melted pot that it is the world. Till next time. Bye. Thank you so
Good
much.
job. Sorry, my hands
I
are so sweaty.
appreciate- Oh, I'm the same way.
Good job.
Appreciate it. Thank you
That
so
was
much.
great.
Thank you very much for checking out this episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel and check out one of the other episodes that we have prepared for you. Thank you very much. Till next time.
One, what is the Lavigo? Walks like a pero but in fact is a flamingo. Coming to Havana and reflecting.